Long before the arrival of European explorers, the lands that would become Canada were inhabited by a diverse tapestry of indigenous peoples, each with their own rich cultures and histories. These First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities thrived for millennia, their lives deeply intertwined with the land and its resources, creating sustainable ways of living that respected the environment.
From the towering forests of the west to the rugged coastlines of the east, each group developed unique cultures, languages, and traditions, adapting to the diverse landscapes they called home.
The First Nations, a vast and diverse group, occupied much of present-day Canada, each nation with its own distinct identity and way of life. They lived in harmony with nature, relying on hunting, fishing, and gathering for sustenance, and developed intricate knowledge of their local ecosystems. Their spiritual beliefs were deeply rooted in the natural world, and their oral traditions preserved knowledge and stories passed down through generations, ensuring the continuity of their cultural heritage.
In the Arctic regions, the Inuit people adapted to a harsh and unforgiving environment, showcasing remarkable ingenuity and resilience. Skilled hunters and fishers, they navigated the icy waters in kayaks and hunted seals, whales and other marine life, mastering the art of survival in extreme conditions. Their ingenuity and resilience allowed them to flourish in one of the world's most challenging environments, creating a rich cultural legacy.
The Métis people emerged from the intermingling of European fur traders and indigenous women, forming a unique cultural identity. They developed a distinct culture that blended indigenous and European traditions, creating a vibrant community with its own customs and practices. Their knowledge of the land and languages made them valuable guides, interpreters, and traders in the fur trade, playing a crucial role in the economic development of early Canada.
These indigenous communities, each with their unique heritage, shaped the land for centuries before the arrival of Europeans, influencing the cultural and ecological landscape, leaving an indelible mark on the future nation of Canada. Their story is an integral part of the Canadian tapestry, reflecting their deep connection to the land, a testament to their enduring presence and contributions to the nation's identity, which continue to be celebrated and honored today. The allure of new lands and riches drew European explorers across the Atlantic, forever altering the course of Canadian history. Among the first to set foot on Canadian soil was the Italian explorer John Cabot, sailing under the English flag. In 1497, his voyage landed him on the shores of Newfoundland, laying the groundwork for English claims to North America.
Decades later, Jacques Cartier, embarked on a series of voyages that deepened European understanding of the region. My explorations of the St. Lawrence River and encounters with the indigenous peoples paved the way for French colonization. My voyages marked the beginning of a lasting French presence in North America.
Driven by the lucrative fur trade, French settlers established colonies in the early 17th century. Samuel de Champlain, a key figure in French exploration, founded Quebec City in 1608, a strategic outpost that became the heart of New France. The fur trade, particularly the highly prized beaver pelts, became the economic engine of the colony, attracting traders, missionaries, and settlers to the region.
The arrival of Europeans brought about significant changes to the land and its people. Trade, alliances, and conflicts emerged between the newcomers and the indigenous populations as they navigated this new era of contact and exchange. The seeds of a complex relationship marked by both cooperation and conflict were sown during this pivotal period.
The vast wilderness of North America became a battleground for European ambitions as France and Britain clashed for control of the continent. The dense forests, expansive rivers, and rugged terrain provided the backdrop for a series of intense confrontations. Both nations sought to expand their colonial empires, driven by the lucrative fur trade, territorial ambitions, and the desire for power. The fur trade in particular was a significant economic driver, attracting both French and British traders deep into the interior of the continent. The rivalry between these two European powers would shape the destiny of Canada for over a century. Their competition influenced not only the political landscape, but also the cultural and social fabric of the region.
The French, with their extensive network of fur trading posts and alliances with indigenous nations, initially dominated the interior. These alliances were crucial as they provided the French with valuable knowledge of the land and support in conflicts. They established forts and settlements along the St. Lawrence River, the Great Lakes, and the Mississippi River, creating a strategic network that facilitated trade and military movements, seeking to control the lucrative fur trade and establish a vast inland empire. The French vision was one of a sprawling territory connected by waterways and trade routes.
The British, meanwhile, established colonies along the Atlantic coast and challenged French dominance through trade and military expeditions. Their settlements grew rapidly, driven by waves of immigrants seeking new opportunities. They forged alliances with indigenous groups who sought to counter French influence. These alliances were strategic, as indigenous groups played a crucial role in the balance of power in the region. The struggle for dominance escalated, leading to a series of conflicts known as the French and Indian Wars. These wars were marked by brutal battles, shifting alliances, and significant territorial changes.
The culmination of this rivalry was the 7 Years' War, a global conflict that raged from 1756 to 1763. This war was not confined to North America, but spanned multiple continents, involving many of the world's great powers. In North America, the war reached its climax with the Battle of the Plains of Abraham in 1759, a pivotal battle that decided the fate of New France. The battle was fierce and decisive, with both sides suffering heavy casualties, a pivotal battle that decided the fate of New France. The outcome of this battle had far-reaching consequences for the future of the continent. The British victory in this conflict led to the Treaty of Paris in 1763, which ceded control of New France to Great Britain, marking a turning point in Canadian history. This treaty reshaped the political boundaries and set the stage for future developments, which ceded control of New France to Great Britain, marking a turning point in Canadian history. The transfer of power was significant, altering the course of the region's development.
The 7 Years' War ended French colonial rule in North America, but it did not erase the French presence. French culture, language, and traditions continued to thrive, particularly in areas like Quebec. The legacy of this clash of empires continued to shape the cultural, linguistic, and political landscape of Canada, leaving a profound impact on the nation's development. The influences of both French and British rule are still evident in modern Canada, leaving a profound impact on the nation's development. The echoes of this historical rivalry can still be felt today as Canada continues to navigate its complex colonial heritage. Section 4, The Maple Leaf Rises, Confederation and the Birth of a Nation. Following the British conquest, the landscape of North America underwent a profound transformation. The influx of British settlers, particularly to the maritime provinces, led to calls for greater autonomy and self-governance. The desire for unity among the British North American colonies, coupled with concerns about American expansionism, fueled the movement towards confederation. In 1867, representatives from Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the province of Canada, which would later become Ontario and Quebec, gathered in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, to discuss the possibility of a united Canada. The result of their deliberations was the British North America Act, a landmark piece of legislation that created the Dominion of Canada on July 1, 1867. This act united the founding provinces under a federal system, dividing powers between the central government and the provinces. Sir John A. Macdonald, a driving force behind Confederation, became Canada's first Prime Minister. Confederation marked the birth of Canada as a nation, laying the foundation for its future growth and development. The newly formed Dominion of Canada faced numerous challenges in its early years. The vastness of the land, the need to build a transcontinental railroad, and the reconciliation of English and French interests were just some of the issues that confronted the young nation. Despite these challenges, Canada embarked on a path of expansion, incorporating new territories and provinces into its fold. Section 5, From Sea to Sea to Sea, Expanding Canada's Reach. Confederation ignited a spirit of expansionism, driving Canada to extend its reach from the Atlantic to the Pacific and beyond. This newfound ambition was fueled by a desire to unify the vast and diverse territories under one nation. The purchase of Rupert's Land and the Northwestern Territory from the Hudson's Bay Company in 1870 opened up vast tracts of land for settlement and development. This monumental acquisition marked a significant turning point in Canadian history. This acquisition paved the way for the creation of new provinces, extending Canada's dominion westward. It was a bold move that required vision and determination from the leaders of the time. The dream of a transcontinental railroad became a reality with the completion of the Canadian Pacific Railway in 1885. This engineering marvel was a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. This engineering marvel connected the country from coast to coast, facilitating trade, communication and settlement. It allowed people and goods to move more freely, knitting the vast land into a cohesive whole. The railroad was instrumental in the development of Western Canada, attracting immigrants and opening up new markets for Canadian goods. It played a crucial role in shaping the economic landscape of the nation. Manitoba joined Confederation in 1870, followed by British Columbia in 1871 and Prince Edward Island in 1873. Each new province brought its own unique contributions to the growing nation. Alberta and Saskatchewan became provinces in 1905, solidifying Canada's presence in the West. This expansion was a testament to the country's growing influence and ambition. The addition of Newfoundland and Labrador in 1949 completed Canada's expansion from the Atlantic to the Pacific to the Arctic Ocean, fulfilling the vision of a nation spanning from sea to sea to sea. This was a momentous achievement in the nation's history. This period of westward expansion was not without its challenges. The journey was fraught with difficulties and obstacles that tested the resolve of the nation. The displacement of indigenous peoples, the exploitation of natural resources, and the challenges of integrating diverse populations into a cohesive nation tested Canada's resilience. These issues required careful navigation and thoughtful solutions. However, it also laid the foundation for a nation with vast resources, a growing economy, and a unique sense of national identity. The trials and triumphs of this era helped shape the Canada we know today, a country rich in diversity and opportunity.